Welcome back. It is 6:13 on this Tuesday, and one of the most important milestones in your child's life is potty training. And let's admit, it is not the easiest process for most kids. In today's Mom Squad, experts say while there are guidelines that you can follow, not every child is going to be the same. How do you know when your child is ready for potty training? Well, it's different for every kid.
You never know how it's going to be, but you can pay attention to your child and get equipped.
Pay attention to certain signs that your child might be ready to say goodbye to the diapers.
I kind of break them down into two categories, being just kind of from a developmental perspective solely, and then there are some potty-specific kind of signs that you might observe.
Developmental signs like sitting, standing, and walking on their own.
Mainly from a safety standpoint because, we want them to be safe. We want them to be able to get to the potty independently.
Then comes the potty-specific signs.
They may start to show some awareness about what's happening with their body by, asking for a diaper change when theirs is wet or dirty, being uncomfortable by being in a dirty diaper. They may start to hide when they're trying to have a bowel movement.
One thing's for sure, it takes time and it's not all at once. You want to start slow.
It's always a good idea to start kind of gradually introducing the concept to them first.
Introduce it to them through reading books, watching YouTube videos, even doing pretend play with your kids' toys, all focusing on the potty.
So that they can start to learn some of the steps, get familiar with the concept without being forced to change anything themselves right away.
But if you need the extra guidance, the Huckleberry Baby and Child app is there to help.
Huckleberry also helps with that potty training process now, where it can help you with the reminders of during that stage of potty training.
You can set those little reminders on your phone like, oh, okay, so after breakfast, they tend to pee about 15 minutes later.
But the biggest reminder, potty training isn't one size fits all.
That's normal, so you don't have to freak out that your child's coming up on 2.5 and you haven't done the potty training thing yet.
It may take some time, it may be fast, but whatever it happens, it's gonna be okay. Give yourself grace, give your child grace, and relax.
Jessica Toe says a survey done by Huckleberry revealed something very interesting. The older a child is when they potty train, the more likely it is that they will need an incentive, like a toy or a sticker or a treat or a reason to use the potty, whereas younger children are motivated by just seeing their parents happy. So to see the entire conversation, you can go to our WKYC Plus channel, which you can find on Roku and Fire TV. You can also see the episode on our WKYC YouTube channel. We sit down with Laura Queso during this conversation, and I brought Danielle in because Dave, I was telling you earlier, Danielle's like, oh, I potty trained in a day. And I was like, come here, sit down, because it took me months and months and months and a lot of trial and error.
I didn't say it that way. I didn't say it like that. No.
But you did that
yes.
potty training in a day.
What I did was I read the book Toilet Training in Less Than a Day, and it really spells out how to do it and gives you specific goals and an agenda to do, and you take the entire day and you focus that on the child and help them learn how to sit on the potty and do those things. Right. And I remember it being successful. Now remember, my kids are 12 and 15, so that was almost 10 years ago, but they weren't professional potty users right after that day. They still struggled, but it was they got it. And they knew okay, it's time to use the potty instead of going on myself.
I wish I had that book and you to tell me to read this book, for at least my second child, because boy, it took forever.
Right.
And it's just, and it's funny because in that story, and you explain, these circumstances, situations are not the same.
No, they're not.
Everyone has different scenarios.
And my silver bullet advice to Laura Queso and anybody else was just, in my experience, when the kid was ready, that's when they were potty trained. Not when you were ready. Not when.
Wish it was when we were ready.
Daycare says they need to be potty trained. It's when they, you can set them up for success, but they decide when they're fully ready. So you can watch that whole episode. Even if you're a grandparent with a toddler back in your life, it's always great information.
I don't miss those days at all.
It was the hardest.
Holly remembers those days.